is the entertainment industry completely given up on California? Because I mean, there's so many different things happening around the country, around the world, that are pulling away from California in general. Like, for example, I believe it was New Jersey. Netflix just broke down on a new studio that they're building in New Jersey. And we know that I believe they have one in New Mexico. So I think California and Hollywood as an industry are not in a good place right now. And maybe for a further prediction later down the line, maybe Hollywood never, or it doesn't like necessarily be the capital of the entertainment industry anymore. That would be very freaking interesting because right now that's kind of where we're headed.
And I think if that ends up being where we head, the entertainment industry as we know it will be done.
Mm.
I'm fine with other states, like the idea, and this is the model that I think works. If you look at Georgia and how successful Georgia is in the film industry right now with their tax incentives and the amount of productions that are filmed there and everything, it's still Hollywood because everything that is basically shot through Atlanta is facilitated out of the Hollywood studios who are filming their stuff in Georgia. I feel like as long as we can maintain that it's coming from Hollywood, regardless of where it's filmed, we're going to be okay. But if we ever get to the point where we abandon Hollywood as the capital of, as the core of where it all stems from, we're in big trouble. And I think that the reason that that might even be talked about right now is because, in my opinion, well, not just my opinion, I mean, it's fact, these studios are being bought up by non-filmmaker people. Tech guys who know nothing about the entertainment industry. They know nothing about filmmaking. They know nothing about television. They just know money. And so it's hard to run an industry that's built on creativity when you have no idea how that works and you're only worried about profit. And sadly, this is disrupting Hollywood right now. And it is my sincerest hope and my biggest fear, if not, that if we don't get back to making sure that all of the majors, as they're called, majors, minis, independents, but if we don't get back to where the majors are being run by creatives, we're in big trouble. We need that to be a stronghold. We need that to be the case. Because if we fold there, we're in big trouble. We're going to lose the industry as we know it and may never get it back if we can't hold that line and demand that these people that run our industry are actual industry people. We're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, completely agree. And then letting the reins loose on people who are quote unquote entertainment people that are not doing well in the entertainment industry. That is absolutely wild because we all know, we've talked about it on the show, Warner Brothers Discovery stock is now labeled and classified as junk stock.
Right.
The revenue dropped 4.8% from 2024 and posted about a staggering $11.5 billion net worth that was lost in 2024. And Warner Brothers stock fell about 7% for the year. And the crazy thing is, the last time it was at a peak was 4 years ago, and it was about at $53 per share in January of 2021. And then later that year in May, it started going down when a certain CEO and a merger was about to happen, which ended up bringing the company to where it is now. And I'm, of course, talking about David Zaslav. So, I mean, this has been happening for 4 years. He's literally been taking this stock and this legendary company from being the legendary status that it is to being almost depleted and terrifyingly enough might be sold off for parts, which that would be absolutely crazy because if you go back and do your history and your research on RCA, that is completely shredded It's
Yeah.
completely across all freaking companies right now. I mean, because there's so many different things that were RCA that are no longer a part of that. And I'm really worried about Warner Brothers Discovery because this is still considered it's a major. It's
No,
still
it's a
one of
major, yeah.
it's the top two or a top three because I mean Paramount, Paramount, Disney, and Warner Brothers are what I think of. Of course, Universal has
Yeah.
been around forever, and of course, Sony Pictures. Of course, I'm terrified that this company is going to completely be shredded apart, and we will not see any historic films, edgy films that Warner Brothers used to bring us back and forth in the day. And it's scary to see. It's really scary to
I,
see, and that's a big problem. I think the trend that Warner Brothers Discovery is setting is something that the other studios are seeing and avoiding to go that way. And I mean, we saw it this past week or last week where David Zaslav was even asking for a
yeah,
raise,
no,
which is absolutely crazy.
that's what I was going to say. It's you brought up the 2024 numbers. That's the worst year and the biggest loss that Warner Brothers has ever had, and yet he made $51 million salary that year. And then wanted to get a $53 million salary after the worst year Warner Brothers has ever had. And here's the crazy thing. He was justifying it because of the success of Minecraft and Sinners, which wasn't even part of the disastrous year. It's part of the new year, and he wasn't responsible. Remember, he was going to fire DeLuca and because he thought they were failures. They greenlit those movies. They brought those, and now he praises them, and he's literally trying to throw them under the bus and him take success for those movies. It's like, bro, no. You cannot take the success of those movies. You had nothing to do with that shit. And here's why I have a little bit of hope, little glimmer of hope for Warner Bros. Because the shareholders said, fuck you, and they denied the raise. They said, no, you're not getting that much money.
There's no way they're not upset.
So, well, yeah. I mean, even if you were just coming in 4 years ago, your stock's at $53 and now it's at like $7. I mean, you lost a considerable amount of wealth underneath this guy. If I'm a shareholder, I'm never voting for anything for that guy. I'm like, and the first time an opportunity comes up to get rid of the guy, I'm voting yes. Like, I mean, it would be whoop, like I did with Chapman. First opportunity, like, boom, get rid of that motherfucker, and boom, get rid of Peltz, and get, all the, it's like, you have to, and this is why I'm paying very, very close attention to what's happening at Paramount. By the way, Miss Redstone there, Sherry Redstone just came out. She's got cancer, so and terminal. So it could be like they're gonna have to resolve this stuff pretty quick. Like
it's the government, man.
Yeah,
it's the freaking government.
But my point is like what is the direction? What is the future? Is it going to be Skydance, and are they going to stay entertainment-based, or are they going to split that bad boy up into a bunch of different things and go in a different direction? They're going to have to figure it out quick because she ain't going to be a part of it, and it might not be locked down before they lose her. And then what does that throw the deal into jeopardy? I mean, that could potentially, if it's not signed off on before she passes, that could throw that into jeopardy. And then the other one I'm watching, obviously, very closely is Disney. Because Bob Iger is leaving this time, guys, for real. And if they don't put the right person in charge, if it is not a creative, I think Disney starts to suffer the same way Warner Brothers did. We saw it with Chapek. Great at running the theme parks, had no fucking clue about all the rest of the business. Didn't understand movies, didn't understand TV, didn't understand. If we do that again, Disney, that's the problem with Zaslav. No clue. Knew how to run cable, but had no clue about content, right? He knew how to run a cable business. He didn't know anything about the content that went on the cable business. And then hence taking over Warner Brothers, he had no fucking clue about movies and other TV shows. So if we do that mistake with Disney, we're going to see the same type structure collapse that we saw under Chapek. And we can't have that happen. So I'm watching those two very closely because I think Warner Brothers, to me, if you go back and you read the Disney touch, when Eisner and Frank Wells were brought in to stave off a takeover, Warner Brothers is right there for me. I think Warner Brothers is where Disney was way back in the early 80s, in danger of a corporate hostile takeover where somebody comes in, buys it, and just rips it apart to completely dismantle and sell it off. They're in danger right now because with the stock that low, it might not be able to be fought off. You might not be able to fight off somebody coming in and buying a massive chunk of that in a hostile takeover and then doing what they wish with the company. It almost happened to Disney. Disney almost didn't exist in the early 80s. It was almost gone. And if not for Roy Disney, the younger, not brother Roy, but the nephew Roy, if he hadn't have gone out and literally begged Eisner and Frank Wells to come in to stave off the board from approving that takeover, we wouldn't have Disney today. That is where Zaslav and Warner Brothers, in my opinion, are at right now. And that is where Disney could end up again if they make the wrong decision. So my fingers are crossed that it's Dana Walden, who is a creative, who also understands the business side of it, but comes from the creative side of it. She's got a track record with it. I just think, and the other big thing is keep big tech out. Just keep big tech out. If they want to give you money, great. Don't let them buy you because they don't have a fucking clue. They just don't. Even Steve Jobs was smart enough to know that with the creation of Pixar, he needed a creative to run it. Hence the distribution deal with Disney. And when he said there's an opportunity with Disney, he didn't say I'm just going to buy up Disney. He's like, let's merge the two because I need the creative. Even a tech guy like Jobs knew that. And I think the danger right now is the Tim Cooks at Apple and the Amazons, because look how bad Amazon Studios is struggling right now. They don't understand that. And if we start to see, like you said, the drop-off of all the majors to the tech companies, then we might not have any studios left. And that would be like RKO. Who remembers RKO? You brought up RCA. What about RKO was one of the original Big Five. Mm-hmm. They're the people who signed Orson Welles, for Christ's sake. They don't even exist and haven't existed in 50, 60, 70 years. I can't remember when they were designed, but that can happen to all of them. Don't delusion yourself. Don't think that it can't. It can happen to all of them. And every day I feel like we're teeter-tottering on it, man. We are teeter-tottering on it.